Tune in iTunes. It is the Sunday radio broadcast, and we have got a live interview for you today. Nicholas Smythe is with us today. He, of course, joins us. He has got the Dreadnoughts, and he is with us today here via the magic of the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. And we go to our guest. Nicholas joins us here on our broadcast. How are you, sir?
Oh, just fine. I'm out visiting the in-laws for July 4th parties and stuff like that. And so a little heat stroked and a little hungover, but otherwise, doing all right.
Fantastic, fantastic. So you have got the Dreadnoughts. Tell me a little bit about the Dreadnoughts, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you like folk music of most kinds, of traditional folk music, or you like punk rock or rocked up music, it's just a blend of those two things. We take traditional music and we just add a real strong rock and roll background to it and backbone to it, and that's just the idea. And we'll go anywhere. We'll go to any tradition and steal from it if we can find something we like.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. And tell me a little bit about how the Dreadnoughts got started. How did you guys get together as a group?
It's amazing, 15, 16 years later, or whatever it is now, 17, I don't even want to think about it. But we just were drinking buddies in some of the downtown East Side bars in Vancouver, Canada. And one of us is a drummer, and I wanted to get a band together to sort of play some maybe Irish music or some Celtic stuff. And we just started adding people that we met, in those same little CD bars in downtown Vancouver. And before you knew it, I mean, it was really just meant to be for fun. And then 2 years later, you're on a tour, and then 2 years later than that, you're going around the world, and it just like immediately just took off in this crazy way that we never anticipated. But it really was just let's go somewhere after the bar and play some music.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Nicholas Smythe is with us today, the Dreadnoughts, and they are fantastic group. So you guys have got some incredible music out here. Your latest is the Dreadnoughts Roll and Go. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, roll and go is a sailor's phrase. It just sort of is for sea shanty music. It sort of means like get the ship underway. And it really is an album that we tried to sort of survey all of the genres we love. And there's some, all kinds of stuff on there. There's straight up punk rock. There's also polka. There's also klezmer or Jewish music. There's also sea shanties and stuff like that. It's just this eclectic is the word you would use, I guess. But I hope there's some unity to it anyway. And, it's all music you can sort of get pumped to and maybe have a beer or two if you feel like it. And that's the idea anyway. And so this is, I think, our 6th album. And boy, that makes you feel old just to think you've got 6 albums.
We have got a great guest with us today. Nicholas joins us here in our broadcast. And the Dreadnoughts is... They have got some incredible music here, just amazing stuff. Tell me a little bit about the cover art for Roll and Go.
Yeah, so that's a lighthouse somewhere in England that someone sort of did a nice piece of art on. But you'll notice in the sky there's these stars, but they're also apples. And one of our weird obsessions that we got into was like real hard craft cider. Like we've been just sampling the ciders from around the world on our tours and started to write songs about it. And it's I could go on forever, but it's some people wouldn't find it very interesting. But I love to explore the way that traditional cultures in Spain, England, Ireland have just really made pure stuff out of just pure apples, no additives. They just leave it out in a vat. And we just fell in love with this stuff when we were on tour. And so started writing songs about it, and people there's been a bit of an explosion in the craft cider industry. So we're glad to be sort of accompanying that. And that's why the stars in the sky are apples there. I didn't come up with that idea.
That's
but
awesome.
It seemed to work.
The Dreadnoughts with us today. They join us live here in our broadcast. They have got a brand new album out there called Roll and Go. So The Problem is a amazing video. Tell me about the song Problem, and then we're going to play it here in a few moments.
Fabulous. Yeah, no, it's we're real proud of this one. This one is a reflection on what it was like to tour in Poland and Eastern Europe. This was a while ago, obviously, before all the chaos there. But yeah, we would encounter this incredible mindset, this sort of more like dour, kind of dark Eastern European mindset there that we weren't familiar with, and we just found it very interesting how things could go wrong in their lives, and they would just say, screw it, let's have a beer or smoke or whatever you want to, however you want to kick back. And the song was just sort of a tribute to that part of the world, and really just like trying to capture what we love about it. Yeah, and so the video obviously was a crazy house party with people dressed up like horses, and I don't remember what else, but it really captured the madness of the song, I think. So we're pretty proud of it.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to do this. We're going to place you on a brief hold here on Skype, and we're going to play Problem. And when we come back, we have got more coming up. It is the Dreadnoughts. It's Nicholas Smythe, and it's Problem here on your Sunday radio broadcast.
Through the day, you wanna drink on the way, you wanna stand up and play, but there's a problem. You got a hole in the floor, it's from the Second World War, frozen up through the core. You're drinking whiskey for warmth at 7 o'clock in the morning, studying lanes on the hall. You got a problem. Just when you think you're away, just when you think it's okay, you know what he's gonna say. Sing lie, 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 lie. To the night, past the river of lights, you never pass on the right, cause there's a into the heart of the storm, the where the devil was born, the water's rising and warm. There's a this ain't no plug and play, they live like this every day, don't fucking get in the way of the so get your final release up in the belly of the beast, young man, go east. Sing lie, 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 lie. Say it again, zajebiście, kurwa. Into the morning snow at 27 below, with all the spirits that flow in your veins that still know history never lies. Bring it up to the sky, to the sky, to the sky. Lie, 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 lie.
That is interesting tune. It is, of course, from Stomp Records, the amazing Nicholas Smythe and the Dreadnoughts. And Nicholas joins us back live here on our big broadcast. We are live, coast to coast and border to border on Sunday radio broadcast. And, of course, you're finding us here on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island, of all places. Also, the mix on Tuesdays. And the Dreadnoughts with us today here on our big program. So, how do people get in touch with you guys on social media, the websites, buy your music, all that stuff?
Yeah, it's on all the streaming sites. It's on, we have a Facebook page, Twitter page, etc. It's all just the Dreadnoughts. There's a website, thedreadnoughts.com. It's not too hard to find with a little Google magic. And that's it, really. And you can send us a message. We respond. We're not famous enough to have someone do that for us yet, so.
We have got a great guest with us today. Nicholas joins us here on our big broadcast, and you join us each and every week here on our big program, and we have a great guest with us today. Nicholas joins us here on our big program, and I am not sure what the hell happened to Skype. It just locked up on us, so we are going to see if we can get Nicholas back in here. Why we do that, let's go to a track. It is called The Cruel Wars. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Skype might pop up here and we might be back into it here. Find us each and every week at 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. Also the mix on Tuesdays and JiggyJaguar.com for our musician interviews. You need to go over to THEMIC.info. That's the mic, or the mic.fun. We don't do the mic.info anymore. Mic.info got taken over by a racist website. The mic. It's the mic.fun is what it is, because it's fun when you're on the mic. I have a lot of fun doing this thing. But Nicholas is going to be back with us here in just a few moments. We had some technical issues with Skype there, but Nicholas back with us here on our program. So I want to go to a track here called The Cruel Wars. Tell us a little bit about The Cruel Wars, and then we're going to play it here in a few moments.
Yeah, this is a traditional sort of, the vocals sound a bit like a sea shanty. It's all a cappella. Something we were very proud of doing for many years was just straight a cappella songs without any backing, maybe just a drum or something. And this is just a medley of a couple of songs about having, there's so many songs that are great in this genre about having to get shipped off to somewhere off across the sea or the channel or whatever. And we've always been we stay in touch with history. We like to write about history or military history or things like that. And this was one of those medleys that we just had to do because it's such it's a couple of great songs. We didn't expect it to take off the way it did and get all these streams, but that's the modern world. We'll take it. But yeah, The Cruel Wars is just a wonderful folk medley about a couple of, about people who are being forced off to fight, which is, obviously something that it's a tough thing to sing about. But we really enjoyed this track. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to place you on a brief hold here on Skype. We're going to play this track. And when we come back, The Cruel Wars, it is Nicholas Smythe. It is the Dreadnoughts.
A recruiting sergeant came away from an inn near town at the close of day. He said, "My Johnny, you're a fine young man. Would you like to march along behind a military band with a scarlet coat and a fine cocked hat and a musket at your shoulder?" The shilling he took and he kissed the book. Oh, poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? The recruiting sergeant marched away from the inn near town at the break of day. Johnny came to with half a ring. He was off to be a soldier to go fighting for the king in a far-off war in a far-off land to face the foreign soldier. But how will you fare when there's lead in the air? Oh, poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? Well, the sun rose high on a barren land where the thin red line made a military stand. There was slingshot, chain shot, grape shot too, swords and bayonets thrusting through. Poor Johnny fell, but the day was won, and the king is grateful to ya. But your soldier is done and they're sending you home. Oh, poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? They said he was a hero and not to grieve for the 2 ruined legs and the empty sleeve. Took him home and they set him down with a military pension and a medal from the crown. But you haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, the enemy nearly slew ya. You'll have to go out in the streets and beg, oh poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? A recruiting sergeant came away from the inn near town at the close of day. He said, my Johnny, you're a fine young man. Would you like to march along behind a military band with a scarlet coat and a fine cocked hat and a musket at your shoulder? The shilling he took and he kissed the book. Oh, poor Johnny, what'll happen to ya? Oh, Polly, love, oh, Polly, the rout has now begun, and we must go a-marching to the beating of a drum. Come dress yourself all in your best and come along with me. I'll take you to the cruel wars in High Germany. Oh Harry, dearest Harry, mind well what I do say. My feet they are so tender and I cannot march away. Besides, my dearest Harry, I am with child by thee, not fitted for the cruel wars in High Germany. I'll buy you a horse, my love, and on it you shall ride, and all of my delight shall be walking at your side. We'll stop at every alehouse and drink when we are dry. Be true to one another, get married by and by. Oh, cursed be the cruel wars that ever they should rise, and out of merry England pressed many a man likewise. They took her Harry from her, likewise her brothers 3, and sent them to the cruel wars in High Germany.
That is Cruel Wars. And we have got a great guest with us today. He's going to join us back here on the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. Nicholas Smythe is with us today from, of course, the Dreadnoughts, and he's with us today here in our program. So, what do you guys have planned as far as upcoming concerts, tours, anything of that nature that you can tell us about?
Yeah, we're going over to Europe and to the UK this summer a few times, playing a few festivals. So if you're anywhere over there, make sure you look us up. And next summer, we're planning our first big US tour.
That's awesome. That's awesome. There he goes again. There he goes again. Sky blocking up on us. And he'll be back with us here. We're just waiting on Skype to figure its way out.
Picking up pieces of the day and casting them away. Walking to the town below and lay it all so low. What's in with Paulina? What's in with Paulina? Now when the world's asleep with the secrets that they keep, climb till your legs are tired and your eyes are open wide. Polska Ukraina, Polska Ukraina now. Never alone, never afraid. Slibovica under the shade. You'll greet the sun with bottles high. Your body's pale against the sky. Oh why, oh why? Zajebiście kurwa. Oh why? Zajebiście kurwa. Up to the highest peak. Sleep is for the weak. All triggers at your back. Your head towards the black. Where the river's rising high, all along the countryside. Enter the hyenas, enter the hyenas. 1 for the 8 to the K, 2 for Ascension Day, 3 for the dusty ground, and 4 for the life you found. Polska Ukraina, Polska Ukraina now. Never alone, never afraid. Slibovica under the shade. You'll greet the sun with bottles high. Your body's pale against the sky. Oh why, oh why? Zajebiście kurwa. Oh why? Zajebiście kurwa. Up to the highest peak. Sleep is for the weak.
the Dreadnoughts here on our big program. So we go back to wrap things up here with Nicholas. He joins us live here in our broadcast. We just heard Sleep is for the Weak. Tell me a little bit more about this track, my friend. Tell me all about it.
That's another one that was just all about touring, all about how the adventures we had when we were touring through Ukraine and Poland in particular, and just the madness of being young and crazy and trying to carve out a decent tour in a country where nobody knows who you are. So it was quite the adventure, and the idea of sleep is for the weak. It was our mantra, because we never got any sleep. So you had to say that to feel better about the fact that you weren't getting any. That was it.
Well, it is quite the collection of music. You guys are amazing. Thanks for doing this, my friend. Before we let you go, how do people buy your music, get your music, all that?
Yeah, our record label is called Stomp Records. If you just put in Stomp Records, you can go straight there, and there's the purchase link for all your LP, you want a CD, you want whatever you want. It's all there, and of course on all the streaming services too. So go right ahead. You won't regret it.
Fantastic. Well, Nicholas, thanks for doing this. Enjoy your Independence Day weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it all.
Appreciate it. There he goes. That is Nicholas Smythe from the Dreadnoughts. And that wraps it up here from our big broad.